Hi there, my name is Kelly Borman, and I'm going to be talking about the educational thinker Horace Mann. A couple of quotes from him are, "Scientific truth is marvelous, but moral truth is divine, and whoever breathes its air and walks by its light has found the lost paradise." The teacher who is attempting to teach without inspiring the pupil with the desire to learn is hammering cold iron. Although John Dewey was the first progressivist American philosopher, Horace Mann did have a progressive thought process because he wanted education reform, and he pushed for education reform ever since he was in his young years in college. So, in terms of what progressive means, that is really what Horace Mann was about. He wanted to just completely overhaul the entire Massachusetts education system, and in turn, it would overhaul all of America's education system. So, Horace Mann was born in Franklin, Massachusetts in 1796, and he grew up fairly poor, and his parents weren't educated, but he found this passion for education and this idea that our world can't have freedom and our world can't be ignorant because there needs to be education. So he worked his way up, and he ended up going to Brown University in Rhode Island, where he studied law. And soon after he graduated, he began his practice and pushed for reform, pushed for railroads and all sorts of things. But really what he was most passionate about was education. So soon after practicing law, he earned a seat on the House of Representatives for Massachusetts, and he began his ideas and started practicing his ideas on one of the very first boards of education that was established in America. And he would talk about his beliefs and talk about his principles in what was called the Common School Journal. And he would give this journal to teachers and administrators on a bi-weekly basis, and just to instill a progressive idea that education is for all people, and education needs to be taught by professionals and by educated people. So his 6 beliefs and his 6 basic principles that he established way back when, but is still used today and is still part of American education today, is: citizens cannot be ignorant and have freedom, which means our world cannot be ignorant, our world cannot have a lack of education and continue to have freedom. So again, that progressive movement and that really moral thinking that you need to have education to move forward in life. Education should be paid for, controlled, and maintained, not manipulated, by the public, which was a new thought. Again, progressive. Schools should embrace all backgrounds and accept children of all varieties, or from different varieties of backgrounds. Education must not be religious. So again, this is back in a time when prayer was still in school, and the idea of Christianity was very much instilled in public education, but he was not for that. Education must be taught using tenets of a free society, and education must be provided by well-trained and professional teachers. So this concept of having school taught by well-trained people was where his normal schools came from. He was one of the first people to come up with the idea that teachers need to be trained, and teachers need to be professionals and should not just go into a school thinking that they know what to do, thinking that they have the right tools to teach, because that's not necessarily true. So Horace Mann was one of the first individuals to develop professional schools for teachers. So all in all, Horace Mann has given us the idea of public education today. He's instilled in these values, these principles, that our public needs to pay for schools, teachers need to be trained and be professionals, and education should be embraced by all people, and we should embrace everybody in education, and it also should not be religious. So again, these are very progressive thoughts, and they were for his time, and Another one of my favorite quotes that I will end with from him is, no man has a right to bring up his children without surrounding them with books if he has the means to buy them. And that is a great, great quote, because I still think that should be said today in this society. All children, if they have the means by their parents, should be surrounded by books and reading and learning. So thank you. I hope you enjoyed.